Hello, happy Thursday, everyone. This is Bree Stewart. I am so excited to begin these short videos called Closing Time that I have been advertising a bit and seeing any interest here on LinkedIn for the past few weeks. It sounds like quite a few of you are interested in what I have to say, which is humbling within itself. I am looking forward to sharing some tidbits of knowledge and things that I have gained along the way, specifically in the senior living sales realm. If you are connected with me on LinkedIn or any social media, you know that I have been in the senior living industry for quite a few years now. Backstory is that I originally got into sales at a very young age after college. My undergraduate degree, I got most of my experience in hospitality sales as a director of sales, dual director of sales, and then went back to school and got my master's in speech language pathology and fell into senior living by way of doing some of my clinical rotations. So I did not find it found me, which is fairly typical in the senior living industry. And, I feel like it's been the past 2 years has seemed in a lot of ways like 10 years. So just with that experience, I've gained so much knowledge and so many things that have helped me be a better sales leader and help more families. And I am looking forward to sharing that with you. Always comment below if you have suggestions, things that you want me to talk about. The only requirements I have of you is to come with a glass of wine or a beverage of choice, and really want these to be informal, and I am going to let this evolve on its own and see how it goes. So again, Bree Stewart here, and this is the first episode of Closing Time. Cue the semisonic music. I wish I knew how to do that, so at some point maybe I'll figure that out when I become a bit more tech savvy with this. So I think the first topic that I want to discuss today is getting the deposit. I find that in senior living, we are wonderful at building relationships with families. And if you're not, I would probably look at another avenue other than senior living sales, because that's absolutely imperative, is to be able to be someone that people feel comfortable opening up to and trusting. That's huge. You are the first person that is going to begin that relationship, whether it be on the phone and then they come in to visit with you, or whether that be, they walk in and have a tour with you or a visit. So, I think that we do a great job overall in that piece. But when we get to the end of that tour or visit, are we solidifying a next step? And really, maybe it could be, following up in a day to discuss, maybe a question that they had that you need to get clarity on, or it simply could be, and it should be, asking for the deposit as the next step. And I find that a lot of sales leaders that I've coached and mentored feel uncomfortable with asking for that check. And I think it's because the initial thought is, I don't want to sound salesy, and I don't want to make them feel that sense of urgency because I want the move in. You've got to pull that out of it. This is not a transactional sale, guys. This is a very emotionally charged decision. Most people don't come skipping and hopping through your front door because they're so excited for independent living, assisted living, or memory care, whatever they are seeking. Something has happened, or they know that something is right around the bend where they're going to need to make a decision. So put that in your mind automatically, is that they chose to take time out of their day to, one, either be on the phone with you, or they took time to come and spend one-on-one time with you to learn more about your services and what you have to offer at your community. So you've got to be the person that's going to feel comfortable to take control of that entire interaction. They need you to take control of that interaction. Imagine what this family is going through. You really want to put yourself in their shoes and empathize in that moment. This is my dog, Dudley. He will probably be a part of these sometimes. Yep, there he is. But the really big main thing about this is you need to tell them what to do next. And you are not doing your job as effectively as you should be for this family if you are not asking them to deposit and move forward in the decision process at your community. And in fact, if you believe in your product and if you believe in your community and your company, this should be fairly easy for you, because remember, you're doing a disservice to them if they leave and you haven't asked them for that check. I want you to think through that for a minute. This family, they have a need. You've done great discovery. You know that something has happened for themselves or a loved one, and that they have to start looking at plans for senior living options. So you know that there's a need there. This is not entirely want. Sometimes for independent living it can be, but for assisted living and memory care in specific, there's a need base there. So if you don't ask for that deposit, you're letting them walk out the door. And in fact, they are probably going to choose another community that asks them that's probably not the best fit for them, because you simply didn't ask the question. And so I want you to feel really comfortable on how to have that flow so you don't feel like a dirty car salesman, because we don't want you to feel like that. And I certainly can feel that ickiness when somebody tries to get me to buy something when they haven't built the relationship with me to where I trust them in making such a large decision. So if you have done your job at doing a proper sit, tour, sit, and getting the information, the pain points, what's important to this family, and listening, not listening to respond, but truly listening, then you should have that opportunity right at the end of that second sit, after you've done the tour of your community, to go right into asking for that check or deposit from them. And how I like to phrase it, it always kind of goes a little differently based on your interaction and what sort of communication style that person has. So that's something we can talk about in a later video, but just kind of, pretty basic here is, from what you've shared with me, you mentioned that blank and blank is important to your mom. And I showed you, how our community, checks all of these boxes for you guys. And this sounds like it's a perfect fit for your mom and for your family. And we would love to share life with you guys. So we can get that started today, and I can take this off of your plate and find you that solution by you depositing on that apartment today for this amount, and we move forward in the process. How does that sound? It's that simple, guys. You just got to let it flow. And so one of two things is going to happen there. They're going to say, yes, I'm ready to sign on the dotted line and move forward because you made this so easy for me. Or two, I still have some hesitations and some things that I need you to clarify before I make this decision. Either answer is wonderful. And I want you to think through that. Here's why. If the worst thing that could happen is for them to say no, that is another opportunity for you to win them over and really dig deeper into your discussion and visit with them on why. Maybe we need to clarify, did we effectively answer what was most important to them? Did we show the value in our community that is customized and tailored to that person? Did we feature dump? That's something we need to discuss. Not every feature of your community is for everybody. So, make sure you've really listened and gotten to what they need. And so if the answer is no, I want you to be prepared with asking them, tell me more, what are some of the concerns you have on not making the decision today? And, leave it open-ended. They're going to tell you. It could be a number of things, and we can go through objections in a later video. More so this one is getting you comfortable in simply asking for the deposit and being okay with rejection, being okay with the answer being no, and looking at that as another opportunity to win this person over, because you know that your community is the right fit for their needs. And that's really important for you to believe in, and that passion will show through. And, do kind of an assumptive close here, as you're going through your tour. I want you to feel comfortable in assuming that they are going to choose your community because you're making it real for them. You're building that life for them and what's on the other side, and how it's not this scary negative thing that a lot of people have in their mind. This is so good for them. We're helping them navigate a solution to a better life for themselves and for their loved ones to reclaim their independence. And so I want you to practice. The biggest thing that I can tell you to do is go record yourself the next tour that you have. Put your recorder on and listen to it after you finished. And did you sound confident? Did you sound comfortable when you asked for that deposit? Did you ask for the deposit? That's the biggest one I find that people don't do. Did you simply ask? And, never stop critiquing yourself. I still video myself or record myself from time to time just to kind of brush up on some of my skills. And, did I do the best job for that family is the question I want to feel convicted with each time. Did I appropriately show them that they can trust us with their loved one or themselves? And it should really hit you pretty hard when you think about it that way, because they made a decision to walk through the front door and spend time with you. So the least we could do is make sure that we have made them feel completely equipped to make a decision in that moment. Now again, are you going to get a deposit for every single tour that you do? Absolutely not. If you do, great, and I would love to meet you because I need to learn from you. If you get a deposit every time you have a tour, you have a secret sauce that I want to know the ingredients to. But be okay with that. You're not always going to get that deposit, so don't beat yourself up on it. But what I do want you to feel comfortable with doing is you do not leave that visit without establishing a solid next step, a date and a time that you are going to follow up with that person on whatever it is. Let's say they've got to talk to a loved one. That's always a big one. I think most people, we are conditioned when somebody asks us for money, our immediate response is, oh, no. I don't want to give you anything. I don't want to pay. I think we're ingrained with that to automatically respond. So, one of the biggest objections I get, just as an example, is, oh, I need to talk to the rest of my family. So there's a few ways that you can overcome that. One, let's think of it. Oh, hey, if family's out of town, I'd love to go ahead and call them. We can call them here right now. I'll put them on speaker, and I'd love to answer any questions they might have. Or let's schedule a Zoom visit where I can show them around. Maybe we can all do it together. I'll record that Zoom meeting so you guys can go back and listen to it and make a decision together as a family. But I'd like to be a part of that conversation so we all can be on the same page. Inject yourself into these family conversations. I promise you, most families are welcoming you to be in that conversation because they don't want to do this alone. This is so emotional. They have got 1,000 things going on, whether it be mom being at the hospital and they've got to make that decision, or mom's at Skilled and she's getting discharged in 48 hours. We all know how that goes, guys. And, they've got to make these decisions. So whatever you can do to take that off of their shoulders and say, here, let me tell you, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. You're going to find that you have not only won over a new move-in and a new family, but you've got a new friend. I think that's the most beautiful thing about what we do is, yes, we have numbers. We all need to be focused on our goals. We need to have goals. That's so imperative for what we do, to be profitable and make money. But it's so much more than that, guys. I mean, the stories I have and the friendships, the lifelong friendships that I've made from simply spending that extra time with somebody and saying, hey, look, I got this. Like, I'm taking this off your plate, and so we can have a glass of wine when it's all over. And I promise you, you will feel so fulfilled and feel so much stronger in your visits and your tours and your closing ratios, which your regional teams will love to see on paper. And it's simply because you're not focusing on the numbers. You're focusing on you and that person sitting in that moment and asking yourself the question, have I done a good job of this person trusting me with not only this visit, but also with their loved one living here with us and sharing life? And so I think that that's what I want to leave you with today. And I got a little long-winded, and forgive me if I've said a lot, but I hope this will evolve and get a bit better as time goes on. But my challenge for you for the next 7 days is to simply make sure that you are asking for the business and asking for that deposit after each visit. There's nothing that can go wrong in that moment. Only another opportunity for you to win them over and do what's right, which is moving them into your community because you believe in what you're selling and you know that that's the best fit. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. And I can't wait to hear your successes. If you have found yourself kind of in a rut and forgetting to ask for the deposit, let me know. And let me know if this has helped you or if you were able to close any deals this week. And I look forward to hearing them all. Please share them with me. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And cheers.